Okay, we've got our mannequin here that we took all of our rollers out from our straight back roller set. We're just going to be using this set here for about 3 different updos. So I've just taken the mannequin and I've run my fingers through it just to get the curls loosened up so they don't look like they've just come from rollers. And this is just beautiful curl. I just love this curl in the mannequin. So the first one we're going to do is the one where we're going to place a lot of bubbles on top of the head. You'll see this one a lot, or variations of this in different hairstyles. I'm going to show you a technique that you are not going to need to use once you get better at doing hair. But I do have my elastic with me at first, and this is the part you won't need once you get better at it. So we're just going to take all of this hair, and right in the back crown, we're going to comb this whole mannequin's hair back and put a ponytail right up on top. We're going to take this ponytail out, and I don't want you to leave it in. It's not going to be near as nice if you leave the ponytail in, but it will help you get this done. So I'm just combing all this hair up into my ponytail. Don't put the ponytail right on top of the head. It's going to look a little bit funny if it does. It should be slightly back, still on top, but at the back crown area on the head. You're going to want to make sure this hair is smooth all the way around the mannequin, okay? So lift her up, pick her up, whatever you need. We're combing this nice and smooth. Just putting it in a ponytail to start with that we will take up. Okay? Now put this ponytail in. Oh, my ring is kind of hooking on the hair. That's probably not a good thing for my updo. Oh, and I just loosened it all. Ah. Should be okay. Okay, so I've got my ponytail up on top of the head. This was just to help you so that you didn't have to hang on to this hair the whole time. When you get good at it, you can just hold this the whole time. Now this is the part where we're going to do a circle of pins all around the head, but they have to crisscross. So we're going to get the camera to come in nice and close to see these crisscrosses. This is key to keeping this tight. Okay, pin number 1, we're going in a circle. I am dragging that one side of the pin right along her scalp. I'll take the other pin, it crosses over the other one. I've hooked these 2 pins together so they cross over each other here. This one is covering this pin. That crisscross is going to go along the hair, all around this hair in a circle. Okay? Lift up your mannequin, give her a little turn if you need. Oops. I'm just going to comb that little split out there. Okay, I'm hanging on to the ponytail. And this is where I don't usually use a ponytail, but I know it helps a lot of the students to have one in at first in case they accidentally let go of the hair. Crisscrossing all these pins. If you do not crisscross these pins, oops, like that one did not crisscross. If you do not crisscross these pins, this will not stay in and you will be very disappointed. So make sure you take the time to crisscross all of your pins. The wider the circle, the wider these bubbles will be on top of the head, which is another reason why we don't keep the ponytail in. If you kept the ponytail in this hair, you're going to have your bubbles just all in one tiny spot. It'll look a little funny. So you want to make a wide area to make the hair look as thick as possible. You can see I'm fussing with my stand. I know when I come out to see some of you at your schools, you're all fussing with your stands. I don't know what else to do. I don't know if it's the stands or the mannequins, but I have yet to find a good mannequin. Okay, one of my pins that was crisscrossed has come undone, so I had to move back and recross it. I added an extra pin, so where there should be 2, there's 3 now. Continuing to crisscross until I get full circle back to my original pin. Well, the pins are having trouble coming out. Drop one. And back to my original pin. And just to make sure this stays in tight, for that very last pin that you put in, put one pin going back the other way to lock it, so you've got an X. Okay, so we're back. We've got the whole thing pinned, and now's the time you have to take this elastic out. If you left this elastic band in here, this is just not going to look like a really professional hairstyle coming out. So we're going to take this out, and what we're going to do is we're going to put little bubbles all over the top of this head. Now I say little, but they can be whatever size you want to do. I love this brush. This is boar bristles. It's wonderful for the hair to keep it shiny. I also use my back combing comb or my tail comb, so whatever you want. But I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take maybe, I don't know what I have, an inch of a section, a fairly large section here, maybe 1 inch. Could be, just depends how much detail you want to put in there. Now, I know my bubble, I want this bubble to come forward, but I want a little bit of back combing on the underside of it. That's where I'll use my back combing comb. Just a little bit on the underside. You should always be able to comb the ends, remember that. Just a little bit here. It's going to make this look even thicker and fuller, and it's going to be really beautiful. So I've back combed and I'm smoothing on the top. I can also smooth with this one. Don't start rolling until you're satisfied that this part is smooth. If you had hairspray, you could spray this right here and then it would go nice and smooth as well, but it's not needed if you've done a good job with your set. I'm just wrapping that hair around my fingers. So putting 2 fingers in because I want a fairly big loop. And I rolled it around those. Right at the base, I'm going to put 2 bobby pins, but they have to crisscross. I'm going to put 1 pin in on this side and 1 pin in the back, and they'll crisscross underneath. Not only do they crisscross underneath, but the bobby pins are attaching to these ones. They're going over top of these ones. Now I have this hair coming out. I'm going to leave it out for now. When I'm finished, maybe I'll want to put it into another bubble somewhere on the head, but for now I'm going to leave it out just to see what, in the end, how the style will go. And we're going to do that all the way around the head. Keep working around. You are going to have a center section of hair though. Don't take all the hair from in the center. You're going to want a fair bit of hair left in the center, because that's where we're going to be building bubbles that will build on top of the outside ones, okay? So, it's my other piece of hair. You can do a little bit of back combing with your boar bristle brush if you like. That works just fine. Smooth it on top. Try to avoid the flower kind of thing where all of these are being rolled out in the same direction. I'm going to roll this one as soon as I smooth it out. I am going to roll this one around my fingers, but it's going to go forward. And I'm just doing that to avoid that kind of a round flower looking thing. Same thing. 1 pin, and it's going underneath that first circle that we did. And another pin in the back that's going to crisscross the first one. This should be a solid hairstyle when she's done. She could go dancing and do cartwheels. This should not come out, okay? That's how you know it's good. Usually, what I used to do with my students in class is I would take their hair when they were done. They weren't very happy with me, but I'd take their mannequin upside down and I'd shake it, and if it stayed in relatively so, it was good. And they were always shocked when it did. You know, if they've crossed the pins, it will. It's funny, but whatever. Anyway, we're gonna keep doing this all the way around the outer edge. Again, leaving a fair large chunk of hair in the center is not going to get done yet until I have my outer row done. Okay, so we are at the stage where we've got all of our bubbles on the outside circle here, and we have these ends loose out here on the ends of it because we haven't quite decided. Maybe we'll leave them out for some extra curl in the end. In the end, we'll see how it flows and comes together. Will we put more bubbles or will we not? But I have this large amount of hair here, and I'm going to do the same thing for this. Use my small sections in here. And rather than putting these right flat down to the head, they will get pinned slightly, putting a fair bit of back combing, but the back combing should only be the cushion, just to give it some height and some lift, and also to give the bobby pin something to hook to. Okay, but I should always be able to smooth out and comb out these ends. A little bit of fuzzies in there. And we're gonna take this, I'm gonna roll it around my fingers, but it's going to sit on top of the other roller. Now, it doesn't get to be pinned right on the scalp, so we're going to, but it does have that nice back combing in there, so that's good. We're just gonna pin this right inside there, inside the other one right up on top of it. Okay, and then that'll get left hanging on top. So that's all we're gonna do in here. We're gonna take this bit of hair, should be just a little bit thicker. Oops. There we go. I think, what do I have going on in there? I don't know if I ended up taking more hair or not with that. I'm gonna take my back combing comb, put in a nice amount of back combing at the bottom, then underneath, right? You don't want the back combing on top. You don't want to see any of that back combing. And again, I don't have hairspray here now, but you might have some hairspray. A light mist of hairspray and smoothing over with your hand will get any fuzzies out of the way in there. Okay, I'm gonna wrap that around my finger and decide how you want to place that curl on there. Because if you had a bobby pin in here that had a little, oh, I should have brought a few, but if you had a bobby pin with a little jewel on the end, how gorgeous that would be to have little jewels or little baby's breath pinned in there. Some of you have those cute little clips. That would just be gorgeous at this point. And one more to go. And I'll just give it some back combing at the roots. Make sure the back combing's underneath, not on top. And this will be our last curl here. Let's see how we place that so that we get enough height everywhere. Oh, again I used my mouth to open that. That's just, you know, not real sanitary on a client.